wrong.
That's it. I'm sharing my first person experience of how it went down. And I also want to share my first person experience with Davey fucking Coombs. Okay. I was out. I didn't get to respond to any of his bullshit. And I'm sure I'm going to hear about it because I'm not holding back on this one. He's pissed me off. The way he did the Langston thing. So he goes over, he fakes that he needs boots, goes over, does the picture, gets his picture with Langston. So it looks like they're buddies, blah, blah, blah. Then I hear Langston on Gypsy Tales talking about how Davey kind of said, yeah, well, it's a business and I'm leaning towards, letting people decide, blah, 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 just so he could get the picture. Then no less than 2 days later, he's on Pulp MX telling everybody the complete opposite side, talking out both sides of his face. And it pisses me off. Like, you want to talk about transparency? Here's a guy who's completely transparent in the wrong way. This guy, he'll say whatever he has to. And I'm shocked that people haven't picked up on this. And I'm also pissed that he went after me literally on the Pulp show.
Fortunately, me and Weege and Fro got drugged down into this. I don't know, when people that should know better are texting Jeff Emig telling him not to take the job, don't do this, you'll be a scab.
I know, it's brutal. Brutal.
That makes zero sense. And those same people now are sort of, I didn't really say that, but yeah. Fro shared the text with all of us.
Yeah, poor Fro.
Anyway, so I wanted to put an end to any
about the Jeff Emig thing. And I'm going to put my text directly to Jeff Emig up on the screen so people can see exactly what I said. What I said was, I know Jeff and I like Jeff. Jeff was the first guy to cross the line back in the Vegas Supercross when the guys were trying to get, more pay. It was kind of a union. He kind of broke it. Big deal. I text Jeff before I even knew who the replacement was. I figured it was down to Jason Thomas, Jeff Emig, Ricky Carmichael, or Daniel Blair. I figured it was Emig, and with Emig's already his history, I just texted him and said, hey man, before I knew who was getting the job, I said, I don't think you should take it. Whoever takes this job will be considered a scab and it's going to go down historically. Well, Davey takes that as I called him a scab, which I didn't. I said, whoever takes the job will be. And once I realized it was Jeff and, I said, hey, agree to disagree. We're good.
But you need to elaborate on the rest of the text because Jeff got back to you.
Jeff said it's none of my business.
You quickly said, hey, just from a different perspective,
yeah.
Jeff was kind enough to get back to you. And then what did you say?
I said, I respect you. Well, like I said, I don't put it up on the screen.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want you to have to paraphrase.
Yeah. But I'll put it up on the screen.
But I want the listeners to understand it wasn't, again, a tit for tat. Jeff said, hey, you've overstepped your bounds on this one. You're just saying, hey, look, I just think for this, again, I'm paraphrasing here. I don't want to put words in it. You'll post it up there. But you reached out to Jeff. Jeff had a problem with it. You just gave your perspective, and then the conversation ceased.
Yeah, but Davey, the way
but you didn't call him a scab.
No, I did not
call him a scab. You didn't even know who had taken the job yet.
I did not know he was even taking the job.
Yeah.
I figured they'd probably do a one-person booth on the weekend. I thought that's probably what they do because Paul Malin does it every weekend and does a great job. And I'm sure Weech could handle it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I was hoping for, ideally. That way it takes nobody else, puts nobody else in the firing line. But I believe they'd set this up, prior at Loretta Lynn's. And it just pissed me off the way that he said. And then, he said that Davey Combs said, oh yeah, the text after was like visceral and calling him a scab. That was beforehand, you idiot. And don't make it out to be something it's not. And it just pissed me off. And I haven't had a chance to come back on it. Look at this. Okay. So people should know that I've got a story coming out about the Outdoor Nationals. And I was always been curious about where the money flows. I didn't want to put it out while I was down because I couldn't respond. And I know it's going to create some problems. I've talked extensively with Davey, with track owners, and I know where the money goes. And this is why Davey Combs has tried so hard to discredit me. At the first of the year when Hopper was making a point on our show, and I said, Hopper, are you talking about Hitler? He twisted that. Davey Combs twisted that until I called him Hitler, which I did not. I thought it was ridiculous to even compare anything in the motorcycle industry to Hitler. That's why I thought it was funny that Hopper was going there. Then now he says that I'm calling Emig a scab. And now he actually referred to me as trying to sabotage his race by telling Emig not to take the job.
That was the comment that I thought was interesting. Sabotage. I guess maybe I need to look it up in the dictionary. I didn't understand sabotage was defined in that context, but okay. I guess you can spin it to say whatever words or description that you want to, but it doesn't make any sense to me. It's not like you went and, stood in front of the
like the
trailer.
Tiananmen Square.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly. It's not like you went and stood in front of Jeff and said, you can't go in this door. And you're going to say, hey, we're going to put them in a predicament where they don't have Jeff walking in. That's sabotage, right? Finding a way to keep it from happening is the definition of sabotage. Sending in text, which was heartfelt, to somebody that you know and have the utmost respect for.
I do.
There's no, again, let's look at the timeline, but then again, not that I'm trying to commiserate, not that I'm trying to agree with you 100%, but I do agree with your comment, because I thought the same thing. I thought sabotage was like somebody doesn't let your car start so you can't get to the airport, or sabotage your car that you can't get to the announcer's trailer or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't slash the tires to Jeff's car before he could go to the airport.
Yeah,
no, I didn't do any of
that. But again, if the listeners don't know the background, it could be your perceived, not you, because he didn't mention you by name, but I do find it awfully ironic for the talking pundits that say you're a little out there, you're a little bit jaded, you're a little bit aggressive. Wasn't that interesting? Because if your opinion doesn't really matter, then why does it keep getting referenced? Just like Johnny Hopper saying parts, strategies, team tactics, all the stuff. If Johnny is as insignificant as the talking pundits like to say, then why are you doing an hour on a show talking about how, air quotes here, ridiculous that declaration is? If it's that inconsequential, why are you giving it any credit? Props to Johnny Hopper, because again, the shit's true. You sat right there and had Davey Millsaps on there, and then you go, oh, no. Because it was James Stewart to Davey Millsaps, that's different than if it's AC to Tomac. But whoa, you just said it doesn't happen. Davey Millsaps sat across your desk and said, it does happen. It happened to me personally.
Every pro racer has that story.
Let's move the target. Let's move. Because Hopper's comment was validated, and the talking pundits couldn't handle it, so they had to spin it. Masters of spin.
And Davey knows I've been working on this story for quite some time, Rob. This isn't something I just thought of, and I've been working on this for years, ever since I first went to the Nationals. And he's been systematically trying to discredit me before, because he knows it's going to drop.
What's the genesis of the article? Because you're out.
I just want to see where the money goes.
Why? I disagree. I don't mean to put words in your mouth. Your opening statement was, why is Glenn Helen not on the series?
Yes. But
just
it comes
like
down to money.
Well, when you look at Brock Tickle, it wasn't about you're throwing somebody under the bus. You were asking the question about why wasn't Brock Tickle backed up? Again, the master of spin, the master of spin.
He's good too.
I'm not saying Davey.
No, I'm saying Davey is really good, because look at the way he spun the whole Langston thing.
Yeah. Well, you go back to the whole idea of what was the genesis on the Brock Tickle article. Got spun out of context. You're the dickhead. Now, all of a sudden, the question was, hey, why is Glenn Helen not on the circuit? And you went to the person who was in the other side of the emails, the other side of the negotiation tables. You got all kinds of feedback from the person that was directly involved. So what I find interesting is you removed yourself from it and gave the other person, which we never get to see in our sport, the other person, you're giving an opportunity to have a voice, and they're not even focusing on the subject matter in the emails and the documentation that's been provided. It's Chris Cooksey, you're visceral, you're jaded, you're out to do something to somehow jeopardize the sport.
Sabotage.
That's our new, that's our new word, right?
Yeah. Beastie Boys, sabotage.
So I hope the listeners see the context and the confusion, and I can sense your frustration for sure.
No, but that's been bottling up a little bit. And once I started to feel better, I got a little pissed that I didn't get to come back and defend any of the bullshit. And he's been out there on his little media tour talking shit on me. So